you popped your cherry. It's week 1. You made it. Legit fantasy football. It's September 12th, 2021. Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. Let's get into this. Let's get into some football. As always, Brother Ray joining the crew. What's up, Brother Ray? It's Football Sunday.
Been waiting for this for a while. We've been talking about this for weeks, for months. It is here. It has made landfall. Hallelujah.
It's better than Christmas in my book. I swear to you, opening day of football is definitely better than Christmas. Christmas is you spend almost 3 times the money, and what do you got left for it? You know what I mean? At least football is worth it. Speaking of worth it, Genius Kev. What's up, Kev?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm very excited for today. Get the full slate of games. Still recovering a little bit from that Dallas loss and losing my bets on that game, but it's a new day. Got 15 more games, so hopefully we'll do a little better.
So, Kev, because you're the genius, what I wanted to tell you is we've added the domain names recently of RI Podcast and Rhode Island Podcast.com. Today, we added unsignedpodcast.com to our repertoire of domain names.
That's a great one.
It's unbelievable. And they all go back to our one legit podcast.com site. So we got to get spreading these names out. Let these people know that every one of these names gets you right directly to us. Speaking about us, Master Damas. What's up, Matt?
Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Great.
I'm ready to go, man.
You ready?
I made a little Microsoft things we can put in our picks and I can track them. I can't wait for this. I keep telling everybody our goal is to tell you who to sit, who to start, and how to make money. And if you're not interested in those things, stop watching football. Just walk away from the computer, shut it off, go do something else for the day. Let me bring in the hammer, though. Big Stu's in the house. What's up, Stu?
What's up, King? What's going on, fellas? Looking forward to the games today. Hopefully, they're all as good as the Thursday night game between Tampa and Dallas. That was a hell of a game for an opening night, that's for sure.
Reviewing that game really quick, the one thing that I took away from it was Evans's production, Mike Evans's production. I think Mastradamus is the one that said that Mike Evans isn't going to produce as much with Tampa. And I think Brother Ray is the one who said Antonio Brown's going to be hot, and they both came true. That's literally what happened. Did you guys notice that?
Unbelievable. Antonio Brown slips by the guy. Looks like he had 5-10 yards on him. You don't see that often. He still got it. He is explosive, and expect that to continue all year long.
That's the truth.
Yeah, King, there's a couple of quick things on that. Antonio Brown looked absolutely unbelievable. What will be interesting to watch is how many routes he runs, because he was still only running I think he ran 37 routes and had all that production, where Evans and Godwin were up in the high 50s. So if that starts to change, it's going to probably hurt Evans even more if they get Antonio Brown on the field more often. That was number one. And number two, Gronk looked amazing, which I was shocked at. And then the third thing is, that game was probably, now that I think about it, and I did some just kind of analysis on it, it was probably a little closer than it should have been, because Tampa had those 3 turnovers. Dallas hung tough. We all saw that. They scored and everything. But, Tampa still had those the fumble by Ronald Jones, the interception off of Fournette's hands, and then Chris Godwin fumbling on the way to the end zone, or a 5 or something. So it's probably a little closer than it should have been, but I still have the Cowboys hung tough. Master Robbins called that game from day one, so we got to give him some props there. But it was probably a little closer than it should have been.
Agreed. All right, you guys ready to get into this?
Absolutely.
One game, shall we? So here's what we're gonna do. This is what we always do. I'm gonna go through every one of the games, give you the spread, give you the over/under. You give me the winner by the spread, and then you give me the over/under. I will write it down into my Word document to track it for this week and for following weeks. At the end of the show, Brother A, you can give us some sit or start players. And then, Kev, I know you're going to have some parlays for us or some straight bets. You like to tease stuff. I will have my bombers of the week, and we'll get some other predictions for parlays from Stu, Raymond, and Mastradamus. Let's start now with 1 o'clock going in order. Steelers at the Bills. Bills are minus 6.5. Over under is 48. You go to Brother Ray first, but what I'm going to say right off the bat is I feel like that's too high of a spread to play the Steelers. But Ray, you go ahead. Steelers. It's just Bills minus 6.5 at home against the Steelers. Over under is 48. Brother Ray.
I think you got to like the Bills at home. Coming off last season, I think Ben is going to be better than we think, and we know the Steelers defense will show up. They're still without T.J. Watt. I believe he's still holding out because of contract issues. That affects that defense. Or is he back, guys?
They signed him. Yesterday, I think, to the biggest defensive contract in history, I believe. So he's back.
So that, for me, if T.J. Watt's in that defense, I think Pittsburgh covers. I think Bills win the game, but I think Pittsburgh covers with the 6.5.
And the over under of 48, Ray.
I mean, I think I'm going to go over. I think both teams are going to light it up. I think the days of dominant defense is shutting down teams that you just saw what happened on Thursday night with Dallas and Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with the over on this.
All right, Kev.
No, I agree with just what everything Brother Ray said. I'm going to go with the Steelers. The only thing I'm going to add is I'm going to actually go with the under. I'm going to, you guys know I love to sweat the unders. And the reason why I'm kind of doing it is I'm thinking that Pittsburgh, with the new offensive line and the fact that they drafted Najee Harris, I think they'll probably try to run the ball a little more than they probably even should to try to get back to what people think of as Steelers football. And I think the Steelers defense will get some pressure on the Bills, on Josh Allen specifically, and the Bills don't have a running game. I think Josh Allen regresses a little bit this year because last year was just unbelievable. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh and the under. All
right. Now, Matt, going to you.
Everyone knows I'm the cod hog, and today I might place the largest wager I've ever placed, and it would be on this game. Somebody is a big Buffaloes fan. They're pounding their chest, and he wants to put up a Michael Jordan rookie card against any card that can match it. I got Brady cards galore. I said, let's do it, because I really believe Pittsburgh is going to cover that 6.5 spread. The reason is this. Najee Harris is better than anything that they've had in recent years with running back. Buffalo cannot stop the run. We all know that Pittsburgh started out 11-0. They lost their final 5. They're going to iron out their wrinkles. They're not a bad shit organization. This line is inflated. They cover this. I don't know if they win the game, but they cover that 6.5 without a doubt.
All right, what about over under 48?
I got to believe it's going to be an over. I think Pittsburgh's going to be in the mid-20s, just like the Bills will, and that's why it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a barn burner. So I'd say, 28-34, something seriously like that, 28-31.
All right.
Like
Big Stu.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers plus the 6.5. I think Buffalo is going to win the game, but I think it's going to be close. And I think the Steelers are going to keep the game close. I think, like Mastradamus said, I think Najee Harris is going to have a good game today. I have a feeling that he's going to kind of burst on the scene. And Pittsburgh's got Devin Bush back this year, so I imagine their defense is going to be pretty tough. So I imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to be, one of the top defenses all year. So I don't know. I think the Steelers are going to keep this one close, and I'm going to go with the under because of that Pittsburgh defense.
All right, so all 5 of us take the Steelers plus 6.5. 3 of us took the over. 2 of us took the under. Moving on to game 2. We'll start backwards. Stu, Jets versus the Panthers. Panthers are minus 3.5. The over-under is 35. Now, here's my question. What's that?
It has since moved to 4.
Since moved to 4. So, Stu, I want to ask you a question. How many of the Jets' defensive players were retained this year? How many came back? A lot?
Yeah, a good amount.
So a good amount of players that have played with Sam Darnold in practice?
Yeah, they should know him pretty well. They picked off a lot of his passes in practice, that's for sure.
So who do you like in this game, Stu? Jets at Panthers, Panthers minus 4.
I like the Jets, and I'm not just saying it as a Jets homer. I think the Jets are going to win by more than 4. I hope I'm right, but I like I said, I've been saying it all along. I don't believe in Sam Darnold until he proves me wrong. I don't believe in the guy. I know he played with the Jets. The last few seasons we kind of ruined him. But he's going to go out there and prove it. The Jets weren't good for him, but he makes a lot of bad decisions that really didn't have to do with the offensive line or the weapons around him. He makes a lot of bad decisions. and I'm hoping he makes a lot of bad decisions today. So I'm gonna take the Jets by at least a touchdown today.
And so over under 45?
It's 45.
Yes.
I hate going unders. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the over. I always take over, so I'm just going with the over.
All right, Matt. Panthers at Jets. Jets at Panthers. Panthers -4. Over under 45.
Well, I have the Jets covering the spread. I like anything after 3. I do think, like Stu, that they could potentially win the game, but no matter what, I'd be taking them at anything after 3, 3.5, 4. Over under. That's going to be tough. I'm not generally an over under guy, as I missed it on the Thursday night game. If I was going to guess, I would do an under. I think that the running game. C-Mac, Hubbard. I think that Wilson's probably going to, he's for a start. How the Jets going to score? Jets going to have to keep Carolina bottled up to stay in this game. So I would have to believe this is like a 20-17 ball game, something like that. I would go under here.
All right, Kev.
I'm going to go Carolina and the over. I think 45 is a really, really low number, especially in today's NFL. So I think that's kind of why I'm going over on that one. I think Carolina's defense is probably going to be a little too much for the Jets' offense. I think you guys know how many picks they put into that defense. They drafted that cornerback this year, so I think they're going to make it a little bit tough for the Jets to score. And I think Carolina's offense is going to role. I mean, Joe Brady, we all love as an offensive coordinator. Matt Rule, we love as a coach. Darnold is a question mark. It's kind of an ultimate proving game on both sides. Is Slog a good coach? Is with Zach Wilson a decent quarterback? Is Sam Darnold going to flourish in Carolina? I think there's a lot of questions here. I think Carolina answers some of their questions today and wins by more than 4.
That's a lot of questions. Ray, what do you think of the game?
I mean, I've talked about Carolina ad nauseum, and I think what I like about Carolina this year, and nobody's talking about it, is down the stretch last year, that defense made a lot of turnovers last year. They produced a lot of turnovers, and they got better and better. And keep in mind, they took J.C. Horn this year, right, with that number 1 pick. The previous draft, every player they picked was on the defensive side of the ball. That's why the J.C. Horn pick for me was a surprise, because the previous draft, all they did was draft defense. So I think their defense is going to be underrated this year. I love the offense. You got C-Mac back. I love them covering the spread here. And I'm also going to go with the under because I think their defense is going to do a good job against the Jets.
Okay, and then I'll add my 2 cents on that one. I love the Jets today. I do. I think they know Darnold, and I think the Jets have a lot to prove. They really, really do. The new coach has a lot to prove. He's playing the old quarterback, trying to show that it's a new regime. So I'm going to go with the Jets and the over. Raven,
nice
going
one,
back.
Mike. Nice one.
Ray, going to you. Jacksonville -3.5 at Houston. Over under is 46. Raymond.
How can you not love the Jags against a Houston team that is going to be subpar this year? I mean, with everything swirling around that team, they hired a wide receiver coach as their head coach. I mean, for me, this looks like a mirage. How Jacksonville could only be 3.5 over Houston. I love the Jags in this, even though they have a first-year coach, even though they've had some question marks as well. I love Jacksonville in this.
Over under 46.
I'm going to go with the under on this. I think it'll be closer. I don't think both offenses are going to come out humming. I think they're going to be it's going to take a while, I think, for Jacksonville to get their feet under them. But once they do, I mean, with Lawrence, I think they'll be better, but not in this game.
Kev?
Okay, just to be very, very clear, I would never actually bet this game. I would never watch this game. I would never even schedule this game. It's absolutely terrible. I don't trust.
What do you think? How do you really feel about the game, Kev? How do you feel about it?
You should just skip it. I don't even play it. I'm going to go with Houston. I don't trust a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback with a coach just out of college. Not that the Houston coach is any better, like Brother Ray said. I don't have a ton of confidence in it. If you force me to bet, I would bet Houston and I would bet the over because I don't think this is going to be a tight game at all. I think it's going to be sloppy.
Matt, Matt. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry. I had you on mute. Sorry, go ahead.
You guys know how much I love the Jaguars. I love them. I think the line is a sucky spread. I think it invites everybody on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I say this is a 21-20 under. Jacksonville wins. Texans cover.
So you're going with Houston and the under. 2.
I think this game is actually, I mean, I'm interested. I've been saying it all along. I'm interested to see how Jacksonville plays this game and throughout the season. Kind of like Jacksonville. You know, they got their rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And I'll see how he does today. I mean, they got a lot of weapons. We said it before: Chark, Chenault, Marvin Jones, James Robinson in the backfield. I like the Jaguars in this game. I mean, the Texans are starting Tyrod Taylor. You know, Tyrod Taylor. I know the Texans beat the Jaguars twice last year, but I think this is a different season, and I'm definitely going to go with the Jaguars. As far as the over/under, I don't know. The over/under is just
pick one.
I'm just going to go under. I'm going to go under.
Go.
I think it's going to be like a 21-20 game as well.
Right.
Tyrod Taylor is a journeyman, but he's a gamer, and there's one thing he can do. He's got the feet. I look for Jordan Atkins to be heavy over the middle. I think that this is going to be a lot tighter game than people think.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Houston. I think 3.5 is the key to that. I think if it drops to 3, I might switch my bet, or just completely not bet it. But I like Houston getting 3.5 at home against a rookie quarterback. And with the 46, I'm gonna say under because I'm hoping for a lot of mistakes in this game.
There's one thing I'd like to add.
Houston and under. Yep.
Rookies for the last like 20 years, all the big names, they don't win their first stop. The only one who's actually had a tie, Kyler Murray. And that's basically over like the last 20 years.
Makes sense. Hey, speaking of Kyler Murray, let's go back to you, Matt, with Arizona versus Tennessee. Tennessee's -3. Tennessee's -3. Over under is 54.
It's Arizona. Arizona is going to win this game, and you could put them on the money line. Take Arizona. And what was the over/under?
54.
Wow. They expect fireworks. I would go with the over.
All right. Stu.
Oh man, this is a tough game. It's a tough game.
It sounds like we're pulling them from you. We're pulling picks out of you. Like,
I'm not the best NFL picks guy, but I mean, there's a lot of weapons in this game too. Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green. I like the Titans in this game. I like the Titans. What's it, 3? So I'm going to take the Titans plus -3, and I'm going to go. 54 is pretty high, but I'm still going to go. I'm going to go the over in this game as well.
Ev?
Yeah, this is kind of almost the opposite of the last game. I love this game. I probably watch it. Probably one of the games I watch at one. It's just going to be a very interesting game. I think what Matt Strom said with fireworks, I completely agree with. I'm not a huge fan of the Cardinals coaching, and I don't like the Cardinals defense too much, but they are going to be fully healthy. So that means they got J.J. Watt, they got Chandler Jones. They have kind of so they'll be able to get some pressure on Tennessee, which will make this a much better game. And I think Tennessee's going to get to show what they can really do with Julio Jones. But I think in the end, the Cardinals probably win outright. On this one, I'll take Cardinals +3, but I might make it just like a money line bet at +130 on Arizona, and I will go with the over because I do think they're going to be able to score points.
All right, Raymond?
Yeah, I love Arizona in this game. I mean, Tennessee, new offensive coordinator, so, there's going to be some adjustment there. Arthur Smith was there for how many years? We'll see. I mean, will they be able to pick up where they left off? I think Arizona improved. I mean, they got everything coming back. I think their defense has improved. I like Rondale Moore. I think he's going to add that element that Andy Isabella has not been able to over the past couple of years. I think they have 2 decent backs now. I think Connor will be able to step in there and get the short yardage stuff. Edmonds, we know what he can do, catching the ball out of the backfield. I think there's a vibe. I mean, a couple of years in that offense, Murray with the same play caller. I'm going to take Arizona based on the continuity factor. And I'm going to also go with the under in this. I think that point spread is a little too high.
Sorry that I left, but I'm coming in now. I will be going with Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals.
Beautiful helmet.
This is a Kyler Murray helmet, signed helmet.
Woo!
Yeah, it's fire, man. It's beautiful.
How are you holding that lava is what I want to know.
The bigger question is, how is it still the Arizona Cardinals? What Cardinals are in?
Does that offend you?
Never change that name. The Arizona Cardinals?
So, hey, listen.
Lame.
Arizona is on my bombers list of teams that are going to win outright, that are underdogs. So I like Arizona. The tough time I have is the spread. I'm going to go under just because I'm worried about it. A little bit worried. Ray, you got – let's actually start with Kev. I'll go back to you. Kev, Chargers at Washington. Washington is -2. The over-under is 45.
This is a kind of a crazy game because this spread's been all over. At one point, the Chargers were favored. I think it was by 2, maybe by 1.5. I forget exactly what. And then it's come all the way back now to Washington being favored. I think I'm going to go with the football team in this one. I want to actually talk about this game on the phone a little bit, so I'll leave him to talk about a little more of the details. But just at a high level, I think the Washington the football team defense. We all know that defensive line is amazing. I think LA's got some new pieces on their offensive line. They got to probably gel a little bit. So I think the Washington football team defense will be pretty solid there. I think Fitzpatrick's going to have a great first game because he always does. So I think Washington covers the 2.5 here, and I'm going to go with the over 45.
Washington in the over. Matt, what do you think?
I think that right now what you see with the line movement isn't really so much the money, but what we have here is the offensive line of the Chargers is really not intact. Sure, they drafted Slater in the first round, but that's not going to make up for the fact that they're injured right now. I love Washington in this game. I also want to make a point that Hebert, who was sensational last year, 31, rookie passing touchdowns, broke the records. He never played in front of a crowd. He will today. And that crowd is happy that they finally got a team to be excited about. And that could be the best D-line football. Chase Young is a beast. He's going to be back there tormenting Hebert, making him look average.
Over or under?
It's 45.5, huh? Under.
So Matt goes to Washington and the under. Stu?
I like the football team in this game. This is another interesting game. San Diego's debuting a new head coach. See how they go in the early part of the season with Justin Herbert and a new coach. But I think Chase Young is going to be disrupting that offense all day long. I have Herbert in 2 of my fantasy leagues. I'm not predicting a big day for him today because I really like that defense for Washington. So I'm going to go with Washington, and I'm going to go, what is it, 45?
45.5, depending on what line, where you go.
When in doubt, go the over. I'm going to go the over.
All right. Raymond?
What's the spread again, King, on this?
Washington -2 at home, over under 45.
Yeah, I think if it stays -2, I think this is going to be a close game, believe it or not, guys. I think Washington wins this game, but I think it's going to be close. So I think -2. I have to go with the Washington football team here. Again, Justin Herbert, a new offensive coordinator, his second year, 2 years, 2 different offensive coordinators. And as much as Anthony Lynn did not succeed over there, his offenses have been pretty good in San Diego. So now he goes to Detroit. We don't know what this is going to look like. We don't know how Herbert's going to do year 2. There's no guarantees here. Eckler's banged up. He's going to play, but is he 100%? You've got to love the football team on both sides of the ball at home. Only -2. Sign me up. And I'm going to go with the under with this as well because I think their defense, again, is going to step up.
All right. So then let me add my 2 cents on this one. The Washington football team, I'm going to compare them to my New York Football Giants. They have 4 number 1 picks on their defensive line. They run a 4-3. The Giants run a 3-4. They have 3 number 1 picks on their defensive line. The Giants and the Washington football team, I've been saying all preseason, are going to be the two teams that fight it out for this division because their defenses are so superior to the other defenses, right? I love Washington in this game because, again, there's not just Chase Young. There's like 4 potential guys that are going to come get you, and then they can drop back 7. It doesn't look good to me for San Diego in this one, and that's probably the swing. So I would go with Washington, but 45, I'm going to go over. Now, so let's start with Big Stu on this one. Eagles, Falcons, another 1 o'clock. Falcons are minus 3.5. The over-under is 49. Stu, who do you like?
I like the Eagles in this game. I've been kind of talking up Jalen Hurts all year, so I like the Eagles. I know they're getting 3 points, right?
3.5. I got it by.
Oh, 3.5. I think this is going to be a close game. But I like the Eagles. You know, like I said, I've been talking up Jalen Hurts. I think, like, this is the year where kind of the Eagles kind of put it together. And, you know, they haven't had that Super Bowl victory a couple of years ago. But I think, like, this is the kind of the upturn in the Eagles organization. And the Falcons, I don't know, they're kind of like a stale team at this point, Matt Ryan. I mean, I know they added Kyle Pitts. I'm not the biggest fan of Mike Davis either. I don't know. I like the Eagles in this game.
Over, under, Stu, 49?
49. You know what? I'm gonna go the under in this game.
Matt, Eagles at Falcons. Falcons minus 3.5. Over, under 49.
I love. I'll take Philly with the 3.5, but that could be worrisome. I love the over. I think Jalen Hurts looks terrific today against the 31st ranked pass defense in the league. I look for this game to be very exciting, probably one of the most exciting games of the weekend, just because if you, in terms of fantasy points, if you want to win some money in FanDuel or DraftKings, well, get Jalen Hurts cheap. He's going to look fantastic today. Thank you, later.
You want Philly in the over. All right. Genius.
Yeah, I agree with that one on this one. Philly in the over. I think Philly's going to be a better team than most people think, strangely enough. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a good day today. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Arthur Smith does with the Atlanta offense. You guys know he worked wonders in Tennessee. Let's see if he can take that magic to Atlanta. I'm also interested to see how, of course, some space Calvin Ridley does without Julio Jones on the other side taking a lot of the pressure off. So that's going to be something to watch. And of course, you got to watch Kyle Pitts. So this is going to be a good game. It's probably going to be my second game that I'll have on. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a decent day. So I'm going to go Philly in the over.
Raymond?
Yeah, I think I'm echoing what I've been hearing so far. I think the 3.5, that half point makes a big difference. So I'm going to go with Philly getting the points there. If it was less than 3, I might go the other way. I like Philly. I like the coach. I think Sirianni's going to do a great job there. You're going to see an emphasis on running the ball. They're going to have multiple backs in there. You see what they've done at the wide receiver position with Smith. I mean, they have strong tight ends. The thing with Atlanta, though, at the end of the year last year, that defense, as soon as they got rid of that coach, that bum, I'm sorry, their defense started to play really well. I mean, they had some really good games. So I don't know. We may see some of that this year, but I have to go with Philly right now. I just think there's too much upside there, and I love the head coach in Sirianni.
Under, over.
I'm going to go with the over. I think this is going to be a shootout. I don't think both defenses are going to put up a fight.
All right, let me just stick my pick in there, Kev, before you add to that. To me, you got a young quarterback with a young team that's unproven, and then you got the Falcons, who we agreed their defense did get better at the end of the year. It is a good defense. You have a veteran quarterback. You have a brand new weapon that might score 2 to 3 touchdowns against that Philadelphia linebacking core. Legitimately, like they do not have an answer for him. The Eagles do not have an answer for Kyle Pitts. So I'm going to go with the Falcons, and I'm going to go with the over. So I'll be the only one going the opposite. But I don't believe in the Eagles at all. I've watched them all the time. I watched them all preseason. Like, I'm an NFC East guy. If you remember last year, Kev, all my NFC East picks were usually dead on because that's the one division that I truly know. So I'm going to go with the Falcons and the over. Now, Kev, what do you want to add?
Do you guys detect any bias in this at all? I mean, do you guys detect any bias at all in this call right now?
Why?
If they were playing Adam Gase's high school football team, do you think he would pick the Eagles over Adam Gase's high school football team?
I'm being 100% honest. When they lose, I'll be the only one that was right. That's how I like it that way. Kev?
So I was gonna say, Brother Ray, your comment about getting rid of that bum, stung a little bit because who picked up that bum? Of course, Dallas did. And I'm a little curious about it. We didn't talk about that much, but I thought he did some interesting things on defense, whether the Collins or even Collinsworth picked it up the way they were rotating the linebackers and stuff. So I was a little bit pleasantly surprised. That they held Tampa to 28. But like I said earlier, they had 3 turnovers. But what did you think of the defense for Dallas?
Their rookie middle linebacker looked like Dick Butkus on Thursday night. He showed me everything I needed to see. He covered people out of the backfield. He was strong against the run. At one point, he knocked Fournette on his butt. I think he's going to be solid, and he could be Defensive Rookie of the Year. He looked that good in Week 1.
Well,
Dick Butkus.
Huh, that's awesome.
All right, moving to the next game. Seahawks at the Colts. Ray, Seahawks are -3, over under is 49. We get 3 more 1 o'clock games.
I got to be honest. I like the Colts getting the 3 points. I think we've all been taking a crap on Carson Wentz. But, guys, if he comes out and performs, the rest of that Colts team is solid. They have a solid defense, solid running attack. Yeah, wide receiver, you have some question marks. But I think they have the talent to survive. And I'm not convinced with Seattle. Again, new offensive coordinator, should be better, maybe. We'll see. But that defense was not good last year. And I don't know. Did they get any better? I'll take the Colts with the points at home.
Okay. Colts with the points at home, over under, Ray?
I'll go with the under on this.
Under. All right. Kev, you.
I'm all over on this game. I wish this game was being played in like week 6 or something because there's so many unknowns, and I just can't bet. I can't bet with the unknowns. I think initially I was on the Colts because I think they have a better defense. But you know what Russell Wilson is, proven commodity. You know Seattle can score points. They do it every year. So I'm gonna take what I think is a little more consistency. Go with Seattle. This is not a game. I doubt I'll bet this game, but I'll go Seattle with the -3, and then I'm gonna go over 48.5.
Seattle and the over. Stu.
I like Seattle in this game. Not only does Carson Wentz stink, isn't he have a foot injury? Isn't he hurt? He may not even make it through the game. They say Jacob Eason may come in for him if his foot doesn't hold up. So either way, I don't like the Colts in this game. Definitely going with Seattle. Seattle's got a new offense coordinator in Shane Waldron. And I think he's going to open up that offense more than Seattle did last year. I don't like Russell Wilson, but I think he's going to have a good year this year. But I definitely like Seattle in this game. Just as like I said, I don't trust the Colts offense. And what's it, 48.5? You said
49.
49. Again, I don't like the Colts offense, but I have a feeling Seattle's going to put up a lot of points. So I'm going to just make it over the over. I'm going to go with the over.
Matt?
I love Big Stu. Big fan of Big Stu. I think it's a great addition, but I have to disagree with him big time here. Best defense, one of the best defenses, Super Bowl caliber defense with the Indianapolis Colts. That's the difference between this game. Brother Ray, I have to second what he said. That defense was atrocious for the Seattle Seahawks last year. I think this is a gimme. I think you take the money line with the Colts and the under. I think the Colts run through them, literally. They will win today, and it's going to be pretty handily, easily.
All right. I am going to add to that. I don't know who that was, but I'm going to take I'm going with the Colts in the over. Reasoning being is that quarterback for the Colts just has to play decent, right? Just has to play decent, put some points up, and this will be a game that they can win. I think they can put pressure on Russell Wilson, make him run around and make him make mistakes. That's what I foresee in this game. So I'm going to go with Colts on that. Moving now to the Vikings -3 at the Bengals. Matt, who do you like there with an over-under of 47?
It's the Bengals and
Vikings. Vikings are -3.
This one is it's got to be the Vikings, right? I'm not seeing this game like I am the rest of them, but I got to believe Joe Burrow and his anxiousness and getting out on the field, testing it out. The offensive line is still kind of, not up to par. I got to go with the Vikings here. It has to be the Vikings. Over under.
Yep.
It really depends on what Vikings defense shows up. We know they got the names on that defense. They looked horrible last year. I still believe Joe Burrow can sling it. Go Vikings in the over. I don't know why, but I guess the over.
All right, Kev.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with M1 both sides of that. Vikings. I think everyone wants to love Cincinnati. I think everyone Burrow and Chase, and they want to tell this cute story about how amazing they're going to be in year two and all that. But I think the Vikings had a great offense last season. They were like second in yards per game behind the Chiefs, so they can definitely move the ball. So we all know Cincinnati's got problems pretty much all over the place. So I think Minnesota's going to be able to move the ball and score. But I also don't think they'll be terrible on offense. So I think they will put up a few points, but I think Minnesota covers this easily. This will probably be one of my four best bets. So I'm going Minnesota with the over.
Minnesota with the over. Raymond.
I have to agree with what I just heard. I mean, I love Minnesota. Zim said last year that was the worst defense he's ever coached.
Yeah.
So you can bet that they're going to make changes this year and they're going to make the adjustments. And like M1 said, they have the talent. So it was unusual for their defense to be that bad. Their offense is fine. So I like them over the Bengals. I think they're a steal.
And the over under 47, Ray.
I think Minnesota's going to lay it on them, so I would go with the over in this.
Right, Stu?
Yeah, I like the Vikings too. Don't forget, Patrick Peterson's making his debut for the Vikings today, so that's going to be a big addition to Minnesota. Minnesota was pretty bad against the run last season. And the Bengals got Mixon, but I think the Vikings will be better in this game. I think the Vikings defense will be better overall. I wanted to say something last time about Jamar Chase and the white stripes on the ball, but in the preseason, he didn't look that good. It's not easy catching balls and getting open when you don't have like Justin Jefferson on one side, Terrace Marshall on the other, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. So it's not so easy when you're not playing for LSU against some inferior competition in college. But I like the Vikings in this game, and I like the over. I think the Vikings are going to win this game easy. As much as I like the Bengals moving forward, I don't think they're going to be ready for prime time anytime soon. So I'm going to go with the Vikings.
All right. So here's the scare alert for the people out there. We all like the Vikings and the over.
Yeah.
So that either means one or two things, obviously. But I think that's a solid bet. Like I think week one, you got to take the Vikings against young Joe Burrow, his young weapons, and a shoddy offensive line. Again, that's a big deal. Shoddy offensive line. They almost got him killed last year. You know what I mean? So let's move on. I'm thinking Vikings again over. Last 1 o'clock game. Ray, start with you again. 49ers are -9 against the Lions. The over-under is 46. Guys, please don't make me ask you the over-under again after you give me your pick. Just try to add that in there with your winner. We'll speed things along. So, Brother Ray, -9 the 49ers at Detroit, over-under 46. What do you got?
I kind of compare this to UConn and Purdue yesterday. I think they could be giving Detroit 20, and I think they would probably cover. So obviously, if it's less than 10, I am all over the 49ers. That defense is back 100%. Detroit is an anemic offense. They don't have a starting caliber wide receiver on the roster, and Swift is banged up. Plus, you add that they and Dan Campbell in the National Football League. So I love the Niners giving 9 and give me the over.
Wow. Let's go to Kev.
Okay, just interest of time, I'm just going to second everything Brother Ray said. The only thing I do want to add is I'm big on San Francisco this season. I can see them making it all the way to the NFC Championship game, possibly the Super Bowl. So this is going to be a Kyle Shanahan coming out party, like a race last year, and they're going to blow them out. So San Francisco in the over.
All right. Matt?
See, I disagree with Brother Ray. I actually hurt me in my heart right here that he said that they don't have a starting caliber receiver. When Tyrell Williams is caught 62 passes, he's had his great year, and he's never been really – he's been hiding behind Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry. So he's there 1A now. He's in a team that he gets to showcase his abilities. But the guy that I really want to touch on is Amman St. Brown. I think he is a pro-ready caliber receiver, USC. I think he's also going to be not a late round gem. He probably wasn't even drafted in your leagues. People are going to be picking him up. He's going to be consistently there. The targets are there. But I like San Fran to cover. I think Detroit's going to be, like Brother Ray said, they're going to struggle to score. I think that they're going to have a tough year this year. Not a lot of points with that team. San Fran covers. What's the over under?
46.
Let's go with the under.
Hey, let's see. We got Stu, right?
Yeah, Detroit is terrible. Dan Campbell is terrible. Their offense coordinator is Anthony Lynn, who's also terrible. He was terrible with the Jets. The Lions are just terrible. I guess the only thing that they have going in their favor is Jared Goff is, somewhat familiar with the 49ers. But he didn't do all that well with them with the Rams, so I don't know how much it helps. And San Francisco had an injury-riddled season last year, and they got all their their weapons back this year. So, the 49ers in a rout today, and I'm going to go with the over. I don't think I'm saying too much. That's not too obvious.
Let's go with another alert.
They're going to need some help to push that over, though, Big Stu. I don't know if Detroit, how much they can, I could see like a 24-10 game.
So, all right.
I could see Brother Ray being like 48-0.
Listen,
it could be, but San Fran likes to run, so they're going to cut that clock in half, and they're going to do a lot of that. You want to get in and out of these games, especially in the end, the year being extended. You're going to see a lot of fast-moving games today, I think.
Silencio. I'm going to go with the 49ers and over. We're all going with the 49ers and over. The only thing that I see different than everybody else is I can see Detroit scoring some points. Maybe later in the fourth, third quarter, you can see them getting up like 14, maybe 17 points. So I'm going to go with the same thing. We're all in the same thing. Now we're moving to 4 o'clock, gentlemen. Let's start off with Browns at Chiefs. Chiefs to -5.5. Over under is 54.5. Ray.
You know what, guys? I think this is the statement game for the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to win this game, and so obviously I'm going to take them with the points. I think they come out, and I think we see what I expect to see this year. I think the Browns are they're going to the Super Bowl this year, so I think it starts today. I take the Browns with the points, and I'm going to go with the over because it's going to be a shootout.
Kev?
Yeah, this is another one. I wish it were a little later in the season, but that's also kind of what makes it fun. It's like if Cleveland comes out flat for this game, I'll be shocked. I think this is a huge game for them. This is a statement game. I agree with everything Brother Ray said. The thing that really worries me is how good Kansas City is in September. Patrick Mahomes hasn't lost a game in September in his career, which is incredible. We all know Andy Reid, his first game of the season came after a bye with all the time to prep. He usually comes up with an unbelievable offensive game plan. So that's what worries me. I'm gonna go against some of my feelings are go with Kansas City because they're Kansas City and the reasons I just said. But I really do think the Browns step up. Stefanski makes a statement. They get the win here. So I'm gonna go Kansas City and I'm gonna go the over.
Kansas City or Cleveland?
Sorry, Cleveland and the over. Sorry.
Right. So
this is a tough game. The Browns defense is better. They upgraded that secondary in the linebacking core. But the thing is, Patrick Mahomes is awesome at home. He's just like a machine at home. As much as I think the Browns will have a good season, I just like Mahomes in Arrowhead. It's just something about it, and I think the Chiefs will cover the spread. And I hate to ask the over again, Mike, but I'm sorry. But what was the over again? What was the over under?
54.5.
I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in the over.
Right. Matt?
I want to say something. This isn't your father's Browns. 16 years in a row, they have not won week 1. They bucked the trend today. You ain't pushing these Browns around anymore. It's crazy to say this, just like Brother Ray and Kev said, Browns and the over. I can feel it in the air.
Don't we say this about the Browns every year?
No, absolutely
Mike,
not.
before you make your pick, Mike,
Yep.
starting defensive line for the Browns
Javadian Clowney.
and Myles Garrett on the other side.
Oh,
I know. Fully aware of that.
I like Garrett.
So I am personally going to go with the Browns and the over. I think it's going to be actually Browns win this one outright. Like, I can see them winning this outright at the end of the game. I think it'll be that close. It could come down to a field goal kick. Like, that's literally where I'm at with that game. So I like the Browns and the over. Moving on to the next game. I gotta go to Matt first on this, and then I go to Ray. It's the Dolphins versus the Patriots. One of my favorite matchups, period, to watch on TV. And,
I know.
Make it quick. Wait, one quick comment.
We're supposed to have
this year? Hold up. Did you notice this year that there's 2 games on at 1 and 2 games on at 4? There's never been 2 games on at 1 and 2 games on at 4. It's usually like 1 game here, then 2 on the other, or 2 games here, and then 1 on the 4. But we get 4 games today. 2 at 1 o'clock, 2 at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock is the Dolphins, Pats, and the Giants and the Broncos. Going to be an awesome 4 o'clock time. But all right, go ahead, Matt.
This is what I have for you guys, right? I'm seeing 3.5. New England's giving 3.5. I don't like New England with the hook. I like New England with the 3. Miami will cover if you get the hook. But what I love about this game is the under. It has to be the under. You got Mac Jones with his first ever start. I think he'll do fine. You got Tua against that defense. Will the Pats defensive backs hold up? I think it's going to be basically on the Pats front to ruffle his feathers. But I like the under in this game, and I think if you can get the hook with Miami, you get the hook.
I mean the under. You realize the over-under is only 43.5, right?
There's a reason it's 43. There's a reason it's 43. This is a defensive game, guys. This is a Slabanaka. This might be the most – if you like defense, tune in.
Ray?
20-10, 17-10, that's what this score is going to be.
Raymond.
14-17. That could be what it is, 14-17.
I have to agree with Matt on everything he said. I think that half point is going to make a big difference. I think the Pats are going to try and run the ball with a rookie quarterback. They have some injuries at the wide receiver position. They're going to try and get the tight ends working. I see this as a ground and pound game. I mean, with a rookie QB. And I think on the other side, I think the Dolphins defense, should have some success against Mac Jones. They know it's coming. I have to go with Miami here, although I think it really could go either way. But I'll go with Miami getting the 3.5 here. And I am going to go with the under.
Ev?
Yeah, I agree with everything both of the other guys have said, so I'm really not going to add anything. The only thing I'm going to do is flip the game pick. I hate the fact that it's 3.5, but I'm still going to take New England giving 3.5, and I'm going to go with the under.
Stu?
Yeah, I agree with the genius. I'm going to take New England and the under. It's just Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones, but his rookie quarterback. I think they're going to play conservative. I'm a real big fan of Tua. I mean, I hope Jalen Waddle makes a couple of nice catches today. I have a feeling he may make some spectacular catches today. So hopefully, because I got him in my fantasy team, so I'm hoping for that. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. It'll be a close game, but like Mastradamus said, kind of a rock fight.
All right, you got Pats in the under. I'll put my pick on this one. I think this is a really good. This is another one of my upsets. I think the Dolphins win this one outright. I think Tua has a really good game. I think he has a really good game against the Patriots, which is unusual. But I think he's hit so many weapons now with Waddle there and Tua with his feet. I see the Dolphins winning this game, and I see it going over 43.5. That's where I'm at with that game. So that's what I'm taking. I'll be the one to go with the Dolphins and the over. All right, Giants, Broncos -3 at New York. Broncos are favored by 3, and it's 41.5 for the over/under. Matt, what do you got?
Forgive me, I was just so busy running the game that we're talking about right now, Bobby.
Broncos -3 at the Jets. Over/under is 41.5.
I'm so glad that I get to throw it right back in your face. I'm so glad because I got the Broncos winning today, Mike. I got the Broncos winning today.
All right, Broncos in the over or under?
Danny Dimes, he had like 8 touchdowns all year long, so I'm gonna go under.
Nope.
Sorry, Mike. I like the Broncos in this game. I think the Broncos are gonna be pretty good this year. Teddy Bridgewater's a good quarterback. He's nothing special, but he's a good quarterback. They got a lot of weapons. Cortland Sutton's back. They have a good backfield. Jameis Williams, and Melvin Gordon's gonna have a good year. He's not just gonna be going away. So they're gonna get some touches in the backfield with both of those guys. So I like their running game. I like Sutton. I like Judy. And I like Bridgewater. So, I like the Broncos in this game. And I'm going to go just slightly over the over. I'm going to go with the over, just slightly.
Kev.
Yeah, King, I'm with Big Stu and M1 on this one. I'm going Denver. I love the Denver offense. I love the Denver defense. I think Bridgewater is going to be stable. I think he's probably going to get a little bit more out of those players than most people think. I don't think the Giants' offensive line is going to hold up. I still don't have faith in Daniel Jones or Jason Garrett, what he's going to do on the offense. So I am going to go with Denver and the over. And hopefully they prove me wrong to makes you happy, but that's where I'm at right now.
Raymond.
You know what? Everything in my brain is telling me that Denver is the pick here. They're solid. They're solid on defense. Their offense should be improved. But I'm going with the Giants in this game. I think the Giants are going to win this game outright, and I'm going to take the Giants with the points. I think Judge is going to find a way to scheme Teddy Bridgewater. I really think he's going to be able to take things away from Teddy because Teddy cannot throw all the passes on the route tree. So I think the Giants' defense is going to be the story of this game, and I think Dimes is going to do enough to win this game. I think what you saw in the preseason, I'm hoping they were playing possum. But I think the Giants are going to come out today, play smash mouth, and do what they need to do to win. I take the Giants with the points and the under.
The G-Man.
My pick on this is going to look like I'm a homer, but what Brother Ray just said is exactly right. The Giants' defense is going to show just how good they are. They're a top 5 defense. They have studs littered everywhere. Their defensive backfield is probably the best defensive backfield of any Giants team I've ever seen, with safeties and cornerbacks. I mean, it's ridiculous. Adoree Jackson, and you got Bradbury as your cornerbacks. You got other guys coming. You got Logan Ryan at a safety. You got Jabril Peppers, probably my favorite player at safety. You got Xavier McKinney, who's a stud at safety. That Giants defense is brutal. And the offense, with Saquon back in the lineup, Daniel Jones' record with Saquon is like something like 20-something touchdowns with like 11 interceptions. And he's got a winning record whenever Saquon's ever played. So what does that mean? Play action works. And if the Broncos have to bite on play action, Danny can throw it deep. That's what I do know about him. Hence the name Dimes. So I am going to go with the Giants in the over. And I really think like this will be the game. I don't want to just say it right now, but I think everyone's going to be shocked at the way that the Giants come out and manhandle them. Like physically, watch. I love the NFC East teams. I like the football team, and I love the Giants. I think they're brutal teams to have to play. So Giants in the over. Last 4 o'clock game. Kev, Green Bay at New Orleans. Green Bay is favored by 3.5. It is 49.5 for the over and under.
This is a really, really tough one to pick this early in the season because you don't know what you're going to get out of New Orleans. I think people are going to be surprised how good Jameis plays with Sean Payton as a coach. I think it's going to surprise some people, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it the first week. They don't have any wide receivers at the moment besides Callaway, and I thought I had him as a sleeper during the preseason, but I don't think he's going to pan out for the whole season. So that said, I'm going to go with once again when there's a ton of unknowns and versus a lot of knowns. I'm going to go with Green Bay. You know what they're going to do? They're going to bring it. They're going to score a lot of points. So I think they'll cover the 4, and I think I'm going to go with the over because I do think at some point in the game I think New Orleans offense will get rolling. So Green Bay and the over.
Matt, Green Bay favored by 3.5. Over under is 49.5.
Yeah, I love the Saints today. I love the Saints. I think Jameis Winston's going to look great. I think it's a great organization. I think you can still move the ball on the Packers via the ground, and I think Alvin Kamara has a great day. Take the Saints at home. This game's being played in Jacksonville, by the way. Kind of hurts the home team, but at the same time, I like the Saints. I think the Saints. Let's go with 50's a lot of points, man. They're saying that and I actually like Jameis Winston to light them up. And if I think that they're going to be in the game, I'll go over. Let's go over. Because the Packers are going to get scored on. Let's go. Over.
With Brother Ray.
Yeah, I mean, this game, don't forget, the Saints are not at home. They're playing in Jacksonville. So this is
but
really not a home game for them.
If there's one team that's used to not playing at home, it's got to be the Saints, right? They've done it so many times.
But I still think it means something because, you don't have that same environment that you get in the Superdome. I mean, Green Bay, I think, is the better team on both sides of the ball. I think their defense is underrated, and that defense is still there. So now the problem is Winston. What are we going to get? We know what we're going to get at the running back position, but what are we going to get with the air game with Winston? There is no Mike Thomas. I have to go with Green Bay on this because of where they're playing the game, and Green Bay just has more, I think, on offense. So I will go with Green Bay giving the points here, and I'm also going to go with the over.
Who?
Yeah, I echo what Brother Ray and Master Dom is saying. The key to this game is being played in Jacksonville. If this was being played in the Superdome, I'd like the Saints a lot more. I think it'd be a much closer game. But the fact it's being played in Jacksonville, it doesn't really give the Saints any home field advantage. So, I like Green Bay in this game. I think Jameis Winston is going to have a good year. If he can cut down on those turnovers like he always does. I think he could be a sneaky good fantasy play all year long, Jameis Winston. He's going to throw for a lot of yards, you would imagine. If you just cut back on those turnovers, he's going to be a good fantasy play. But in this game, I like the Packers just because it's being played.
Over or under?
Over.
All right. My pick on this is going to be in line with Matt. I like the Saints in this game. I honestly think that the fact that he's not playing in the Dome benefits Winston. I think the less pressure on Jameis Winston, the better. Like get him feeling like he's playing a college game somewhere down in Jacksonville. He'll probably play better than he would if he was at home with the pressure. Like that's how I feel about that kid. Like he buckles on the pressure. But if you put him down in Jacksonville as a home game, I'm willing to bet he throws a bunch and Rodgers throws a bunch. So I see this going over, and I see it being closer than 3.5. So Saints and the over I'm going to go with. So now
That's actually a good point. That's actually a good point, King. I didn't think about that. Yeah, Winston was awesome at Florida State. Tallahassee's not too far from Jacksonville. He was, one of the stud quarterbacks in college football. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
He would perform better there than he would in the Dome with all the fans screaming at him like that. I just think he does, week one at least. Tonight's game, Bears-Rams. Kev, who do you like? Bears at the Rams. Rams are -9, which does not seem right to me at all. And over-under is 46.5. Kev?
Yeah, I'm seeing -8.5, but still, that's a huge amount of points. I hate laying those kind of points. But Chicago is a very I don't know why you would ever start Andy Dalton after what you looked like last year. It was absolutely awful. I think the Rams are going to come out and make a statement. I think it's going to be kind of like San Francisco, Detroit. I wouldn't bet it at this price. I would use it as a teaser leg, which we'll talk about in a second. But I will go for the purpose of this. I'll go LA and the I'm sorry, I missed the over under. What you hate?
46.5.
LA and the over.
So you think the Rams are going to cover? Huh?
Actually, no, sorry, LA and the under. LA and the under.
LA and the under. All right, Ray.
Same thing, LA and the under. I wouldn't bet on this because of the points, but I love them. I have them in a tease, I can tell you that. I love the Rams to win this game. Chicago is not a good team. They're trying out Andy Dalton when the coach is fighting for a job. It's a funny way to fight for your livelihood, but I have to go with the Rams here.
And over under, Ray?
I'm going to go with the under as well.
Okay. Let's go to Stu. What do you like?
Yeah, I don't have much to add to this game. The Rams win this game easily, I think. I'll go with the Rams and the unders because I don't see Chicago scoring many points.
All right, another LA under. Matt?
I think it's too big of a line. I see, touchdown. I got the Bears covering the spread, and I'd go with the under.
All right, let me just get this fixed. For my pick on that one, I agree with Matt again. I just think that's too high of a spread. 9 or 9.5, anything like that, that's too much. I really do think that's too much for this game. I don't think that the Rams blow the Bears out. I think they're two stumbling type of teams in the sense that like they play well against each other. So week 1, I think the Bears will come out and keep it close, at least closer than 9. Let me put it that way. I'm not predicting the Bears to win, but I like the spread. So I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm actually going to go with the under. So let's see. Am I missing the Monday night game? That's what I'm not.
Yeah, hold on, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I don't have the spread.
Monday night, it's Baltimore -4 at the Las Vegas Raiders, and the over/under is 50.5.
Wow. All right, so Kev, you go first. Ravens -4, over/under 50.5.
See, I would have been all over Baltimore right up until probably Friday when Edwards tore up his knee and Marcus Peters tore up his knee, and it's just there's something going on in that organization that's not good. Not the organization, but probably with the field or something that's not good. It's probably in the player's head. So I still think they're a much better team than the Raiders. I wish it were 3, but in reality it's 4. I'm still going to go Baltimore -4. You don't know what whole field's going to be like in Vegas. There's going to be as many Ravens fans as there are Raiders fans. That could be the case. So I'm going to go Ravens -4, and I will hit the over also. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Still,
this is going to be a good game, and I agree with the genius. Baltimore's had so much turmoil all week. Players going down. And I like the Raiders this year. I mean, I think the Raiders are going to be good. Jacobs and Carr and Ruggs and Edwards. I like the Raiders in this game, and I like them in the over.
Right, Ray.
I love the Raiders to win this game outright. I mean, the way it's lining up. I mean, Waller always likes to play against his old team. I think the Raiders have put a lot of assets into that defense. At some point, it has to pay off, and I think this is the year. That offense has some weapons, and Carr has been sneaky effective. I mean, I just like the way it's set up. I think they're going to take Lamar out of his game. I like the Raiders to win this outright, and I'm going to go with the over as well. I think it'll be a shootout.
Right. So, Matty, what do you got?
I'll give you a final score, 34-24, Ravens win. The teams that beat the Raiders last year were teams that could run the ball very well against them. Ravens do that very well. Doesn't matter who's behind there running for the Ravens. If you got to see some history on Tyson Williams, he's this year's James Robinson. The path that kid came to the NFL has been a long one, but he has been terrific in North Carolina. Before he went to North Carolina to take the reins, blew his knee out. No teams really wanted to give him a chance. He was on the practice squad last year with the Ravens. Watch for that kid. That kid's got great speed, jump step. He's a terrific ball carrier, and they're going to be in good hands with Tyson.
So Ravens in the over, you said?
Ravens in the over, 34-24. Book it.
All right. Putting it down for Matt. Ravens over. I am going to go with the Raiders. I think the Raiders they finally have enough to be a really good AFC team. So I like the Raiders. I don't know what to think about 50.5. I got to be honest. I'm having a hard time with 50.5. 50.5 is a lot of points. So I'm going to go with the Raiders and the under. All right. So now that we've done.
One thing I want to say is the only problem with the Raiders is, and I kind of fact this in, is the fact that they were terrible at home last year. I only think they won like 2 home games last year. So I'm hoping they turn that around this year. But I think it's a new season, new team. So, that's why I'm sticking with the Raiders. But I think the fact that they don't play home well is a concern.
Yeah, I think it's a habit, though, that you can break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully. That's what my thought is. All right. So, Ray, we're running a little past, but who do you think, fantasy-wise, people should be really paying attention to starting, maybe sitting?
Yeah, I'm going to give you some deep sleepers. I mean, we all know who the studs are and who the studs aren't. I mean, we know most of the players in this league. I'm going to give you some plays that could win a season and that you can put in DFS today and win some money. We're going to start the tight end position. I think Dan Arnold is a really sneaky start today. He had a good season last year. He had 5 touchdowns. He did well with Arizona, had like 400, close to 500 yards. He's now going back to his old coach, Joe Brady in Carolina. Joe Brady was in New Orleans when they kept Dan Arnold on the practice squad and developed him into a tight end. I think you could look at Thaddeus Moss numbers from that 2019 LSU team, 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's a sneaky play today, and he could be a sneaky tight end this season. The other tight end that I really like is Juwan Johnson from the Saints. Guys, you have to watch this guy, another converted wide receiver at 6'4", 230, 240, second-year guy. If you look at his usage, and everyone's been talking about Adam Troutman and with the Saints, if you look at his usage, it really correlates with Jared Cook. And if you look at the way they've used Troutman this offseason, and yeah, he's been hurt, that correlates to Josh Hill. Now, who would you rather have, Jared Cook or Josh Hill in that offense? Well, guess what? It's Juwan Johnson. And this kid, jump on him now, because after this week, you may not be able to get him next week. I love him. Wide receiver position, 2 guys I want to talk about. Quez Watkins, okay? He was the MVP of the Eagles camp this offseason. He really looked like Randy Moss in training camp. And if you watch that Pittsburgh Steelers preseason game, he took a screen pass 79 yards like nothing. 6'2", 190. Spent the offseason training with Calvin Ridley, learned how to run routes. He had a good camp last year as a rookie, but he is the best wide receiver on that team right now. And that's no joke. He's the starting slot, but they're going to put him outside. Love this guy. If you have room on your roster, grab him. If you can play him in DFS today for peanuts, put him in. Another guy I really like today for a start is Albert Wilson for the Dolphins. They have a lot of injuries. Williams is out. Fuller's on suspension. Albert Wilson, the best wide receiver in Dolphins camp this year. He opted out last year, so that's why people have forgotten about him. Do not forget about him today, because he is starting and he's going to do well. Let's go to running backs. I think we're going to look at 2 guys that are sharing the backfield, and you guys have seen these guys. M1 just talked about him. Tyson Williams. He is going to be J.K. Dobbins this year. He is the J.K. Dobbins option for the Ravens. And I know everybody's jumping on Murray right now. People were jumping on Bell. He's going to get every chance to prove himself. And he had a really good, was injured, like M1 said, went to BYU, did well, was on the practice squad last year. He's a sleeper. You got to grab him in DFS if you can. The other guy is Tony Jones in New Orleans. There's a reason why they cut Latavius Murray. It's because of Tony Jones. 5'11", 220. He's going to be a banger. And you know how they use running backs there. He's going to get 140 to 150 carries this year. So if he's available in your league, you need to grab him because he's going to be a factor at some point. And the other deep sleeper I'll take at running back is a guy I really like is Larry Roundtree from the Chargers. You got to understand, I mean, Eckler's hurt. He's definitely the 1A, but Roundtree really comps him better than the other backs on that team. Jackson's the number 2, but they've been trying to get rid of Jackson for years, and his body type is not like Roundtree. Roundtree's 215, solid as a rock. He kind of runs like Marshawn Lynch if you look at the footage. So I think at some point this year, he is going to be that 1B short yardage guy, and I think if Eckler gets hurt, you're going to see him in there more than those other guys. And Kelly, don't like him, but he's another deep guy I think you could get who may pay dividends down the line.
Okay, Ray. Appreciate that. Now, Kev, we're going to go around. If you guys got your bets, what you want to put in, I'm going to start with you, Kev.
Okay, so just a quick thing. As far as teasers go, the one I hit today, which I like, but you have to make sure you get the spreads at 8.5. Not 9, but if you get San Francisco at 8.5, tease at 6 points, down to 2.5, and you get the Rams minus 8.5, tease it down to minus 2.5. You have a nice teaser there, less than a field goal for both of those teams. So I put that in already. And then in terms of my 4 sort of best bets, I'm going to go with the Vikings, the Panthers, the Washington football team, and the Denver Broncos.
That's a loser. So let's go with Matt. What do you got for your picks this week?
I love Arizona. That's one of my favorite four. That's one of my locks of the day. Then I'm going to go with the Colts. That's my second. I'll go with I'll throw in the under of the Patriots Dolphins games too, just to switch it up. And then let's go with Washington at home. So we got Washington, the Colts,
Arizona, and the under on the Pats and the Pats Dolphins game. All right. Sorry about that. Let me just get this done. Stu, coming to you next.
I don't really have anything to add. I don't really wager on the NFL, so I'll leave that to you guys. I spent yesterday kind of following the college football, so I'll leave that up to you guys for the NFL.
Okay. So Ray, picks?
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much the guys we've talked about. I love targeting the two really weak teams. In my opinion, Detroit and Houston. I think, especially to start the season, jump on them before it gets out of control and the spreads get really high. So I will target, the weaklings in the pack and hope that the Lions separate them. The weak wildebeests running in the Serengeti. So again, I think that's what you look at. I love San Francisco today, and I love the Rams. I think the Rams are a lock.
All right. Finally, I'm going to bring it back to me.
I want to say, King, are we doing 4 per person? Because that's only 2.
How many teams did he pick?
I think he picked 2, right? Did I get it wrong?
Just 2 games, Ray?
Yeah, if I'm going to have to add the other 2 to that, I would be Minnesota and Carolina.
So what's your 4 now together?
Minnesota, Carolina, San Francisco, and Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. So I'm going to do what I usually do, and that's the Bombers. I put together teams that I think can upset and win outright. That's going to be this 5-team. It would be a 5-team parlay. Steelers, Jets, Texans, Dolphins, Giants. I think all 5 of those teams can upset the teams they're playing. That's my Bomber parlay, and I'm going to put that in as soon as we get off this thing. I think that was really good. We broke it down just as much as you can break it down. We told everybody what we thought. There's a lot of games that we agreed upon. So that's a little scary, but it's good. So if you paid attention, I hope you listened. I'm going to put the picks up on the website. So if you want to go to legitpodcast.com, if you're in the Rhode Island area, you can go to ripodcast.com. But on the legitpodcast.com site, I will have the picks put up so you can go look at them until 1 o'clock. It's 12:20. So I'm going to wrap it up quick so you guys can go all make your bets and get ready for the game. So last words, Stu.
No, just looking forward to NFL football. I haven't seen it for a while since Thursday night game, obviously. But one thing I just want to say is just to add on to Brother Ray's fantasy kind of segment there. I like Bryan Edwards this year. I think he's going to have a good year for the Raiders. He's a big physical target for South Carolina. I think he's going to have a good year with Carr and kind of Ruggs taking the pressure off him as well. And Waller kind of, I think it's going to be a three-headed monster in Oakland. So I do like Bryan Edwards as a big target receiver in Oakland, Las Vegas.
Kev, last words?
Last words, brother, I loved your sleeper list. Strangely enough, I went to look for Quez Watkins in the corrupted league, and he was gone. I thought that was very odd that you got a transaction through right before the show. So good move there. Since we're all kind of throwing out one kind of long shot guy, the word out of Cardinals camp is that AJ Green has actually looked revitalized. He's looked amazing. I wouldn't pick him up and start him today, but I would keep him on your waiver wire speed dial if he gets a lot of targets today. So keep an eye on him.
Okay. Ray?
Again, looking forward to the games. I mean, it's going to be great to have crowds, I think, in these stadiums. I think that was the big missing thing last year that hurt. You had the broadcasters piping in that fake crowd noise that I just couldn't take it. So glad that it'll be actual real fans this year, real tailgating. So, just looking forward to it. Hallelujah.
Matt?
You see that, my eyeball? Yeah. I'm just so happy. That's all.
All right. Let me just say then really quickly, I'm super excited about the season. I'm glad that we're here at the start of the season. I think people need to pay attention to what we're saying because we're usually right. And if you're trying to make money, listen to what we're telling you. Other than that, if I can just step back from being King Michael, the host of this show, the Giants are going to kick the snot out of the Broncos today, and I can't friggin' wait. I can't. Hold on a second. I am about this shit. We're going to set up the room like we usually do. Me and Junior, we will set up the room accordingly. I'll be bringing down my Lawrence Taylor MVP Hall of Fame matted black helmet. I'm ready to rock like I've never been ready to rock. And I'm telling you, I'm going to say this now, and at the end of the season, I can't wait to come back and compare it. The Giants will win the NFC East by beating out the Washington football team. And after they play the Broncos today and they lump them up, you'll see how much talent the Giants actually have on their team. Can't friggin' wait. Leonard Williams, I can't wait just to see him grab Teddy Bridgewater, just slam him. I wish he would grab him.
You want to bet me $5 on this game?
No, I don't want to bet. I'm not going to bet on the game to ruin it, but no. But the Giants are going to win this outright. So that's it. That's all, guys. Please, like the video. When you see our videos, just hit the like button and leave a comment. You could just be like, "Hey, nice job," or "Hey, you guys stink," or "Hey, that King Michael is really handsome." You've got options, is what I'm saying. So just leave a comment and like, and you can subscribe. It helps us. It helps everybody involved. So, week 1 wrap-up for Mastradamus, M1, Matt, Big Stu, the Genius Kev, Brother Ray, me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. This was legit fantasy football on a Sunday, week 1 from legitpodcast.com. In about a half hour, football starts. Get your bets in. Thank you so much. We are out. We will see you tonight for Legit Paranormal at 7 o'clock. We're going to have on a medium. So they'll probably tell me and Kev, like, we're going to fall off a cliff in about a week. Something like that.
Hey, brother.